when Jungkook rushes to make sure Taehyung is okay. This one small gesture makes fans touched. There are moments in BTS' journey that may only last a few seconds, but actually leave a deep impression on fans. Not because there is long dialogue, nor because something spectacular happens on stage. Sometimes, just a glance, a small step, or a gentle pat is enough to get thousands of people talking. One of the moments that attracted attention again was when Jungkook was seen rushing forward to check on Taehyung's condition. At first glance, the movement may seem simple. However, if you look closely, there is something that feels very sincere about the way Jungkook pays attention to his colleague. The situation made fans notice one thing. Jungkook seemed to want to confirm whether Taehyung was crying or not. In an emotional moment, a small gesture like that can mean more than words. Jungkook was seen moving closer, as if he wanted to see Taehyung's face more clearly. Not with an excessively panicked expression, but with a worry that looks so natural. And then came the part that made many fans smile and feel touched. When Jungkook saw that Taehyung wasn't crying, his facial expression changed to become more relieved. Small changes may only last a moment, but it's details like these that often make a moment feel special. There was an impression that Jungkook had previously been really worried about Taehyung's condition. Once he made sure everything was okay, the tension on Jungkook's face seemed to ease a little. It was as if one small worry that had been on his mind had finally disappeared. For fans, expressions like this are of course hard not to notice. Because when someone spontaneously checks to see if someone else is okay, that action often shows that he or she is genuinely concerned about that person's well-being. There's no need for dramatic sentences like, "Are you okay?" Sometimes a step closer and a glance can convey a lot. But the moment didn't stop there. After making sure Taehyung was okay, Jungkook gave him a small, reassuring pat. That simple gesture was the moment that most endeared the pair to fans and touched their hearts. A light pat on the shoulder or body might seem like an ordinary, everyday action. Yet, in an emotional situation, such a brief touch can serve as a deeply meaningful form of support. It was as if Jungkook wanted to say, without words, "I'm here." Of course, we cannot know for certain what was going through Jungkook's mind at that moment. Only he knows the true reason behind his actions. However, from the outside looking in, the moment conveyed a desire to ensure Taehyung felt alright and not alone while navigating those emotions. And precisely because the gesture was so simple, the moment felt all the more natural. There was no attempt to make the act of caring look dramatic. There were no exaggerated movements. Jungkook simply stepped in, checked on Taehyung, and offered that small, soothing touch before returning to their activities. For many fans, this kind of spontaneous attentiveness is exactly what makes the interactions between the two so compelling to watch. Taehyung is known for expressing his emotions in unique ways, while Jungkook often appears calmer in certain situations. When two individuals with such different emotional styles share a moment, the small interactions between them become all the more fascinating. What made the moment feel so heartwarming wasn't just what Jungkook did, but the timing of it. Imagine someone caught up in an emotional moment. Then, someone nearby suddenly moves to check if they're okay. Even before receiving an answer, that act of attention already demonstrates genuine care. That is why so many fans immediately picked up on that detail. Jungkook didn't just watch from a distance. He appeared to step forward quickly. The movement itself was one of the things that drew a reaction from fans. It felt spontaneous, as if his body moved before he had time to overthink it. And when he saw that Taehyung wasn't actually crying, the look of relief that followed felt incredibly genuine. Of course, fan interpretations vary. Some saw it, others viewed it as the natural dynamic of two BTS members who've been together for so long. There were also those who felt the moment demonstrated just how accustomed they are to looking out for one another in certain situations. Whatever the interpretation, one thing is undeniable. The moment touched many people. Because sometimes, the most sincere care manifests in the smallest of gestures. Not a grand gift, not a long speech, not a heroic act. Just someone coming over to make sure the other person isn't crying. Then, upon realizing everything was fine, he offered a gentle pat, as if to say, "It's okay." For BTS fans, details like this don't go unnoticed. Having watched the members suddenly moves to check if they're okay. Even before receiving an answer, that act of attention already demonstrates genuine care. That is why so many fans immediately picked up on that detail. Jungkook didn't just watch from a distance. He appeared to step forward quickly. The movement itself was one of the things that drew a reaction from fans. It felt spontaneous, as if his body moved before he had time to overthink it. And when he saw that Taehyung wasn't actually crying, the look of relief that followed felt incredibly genuine. Of course, fan interpretations vary. Some saw it as a gesture of care between close friends. Others viewed it as the natural dynamic of two BTS members who've been together for so long. There were also those who felt the moment demonstrated just how accustomed they are to looking out for one another in certain situations. Whatever the interpretation, one thing is undeniable. The moment touched many people. Because sometimes, the most sincere care manifests in the smallest of gestures. Not a grand gift, not a long speech, not a heroic act, just someone coming over to make sure the other person isn't crying. Then, upon realizing everything was fine, he offered a gentle pat, as if to say, "It's okay." For BTS fans, details like this don't go unnoticed. Having watched the members' interactions for years, they're accustomed to observing body language, facial expressions, and spontaneous reactions across various situations. In this instance, what was most striking wasn't the duration of the interaction, but rather how quickly Jungkook sensed Taehyung's state. He appeared attuned to the shifting atmosphere around him. Upon seeing Taehyung in an emotional moment, his instinct was to move closer and check on him. And when he saw that Taehyung wasn't crying, Jungkook visibly relaxed. To some, it might have been an interaction lasting only a few seconds. But for fans who cherish every detail of BTS's journey, those few seconds felt incredibly precious. There's something warm about watching someone try to make sure someone else is okay. Especially when this attention occurs spontaneously and without many words. This moment also reminds us that friendship and close relationships don't always have to be shown in big actions. Sometimes, the simplest form of caring is actually the easiest to remember. A look, one step closer, an expression of relief, then a little clap. Four simple things that succeeded in creating a moment that felt so warm. It's no surprise that fans then zoomed in, slowed down, and rewatched the moment. Not just to look for something excessive, but because small details like that give fans the opportunity to enjoy another side of the relationship between BTS personnel. Behind the big stage, the lights, the music, and thousands of people screaming their names, there are still small moments when the members just look out for each other.